How's it going, guys? Gaming Goddess here with a review on Atelier Lydie Suelle, The Alchemist and the Mysterious Painting, a super cute Japanese role-playing game available for PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Windows PC. Developed by Gus, this is the 19th installment to the main Atelier series and the final game in the mysterious story arc. Taking place after Fierce's adventure, the game follows our two main characters, Lydie and Sue, twin sisters living and running an atelier with their father. These two girls work really hard in getting their ranks up and becoming the best atelier by learning all about alchemy and getting to explore the mysterious paintings. So with that being said, let's jump right into the review. The Atelier series is of the role-playing genre. The player takes control of our main character, Lydie, or Sue, depending on who you want to play as, and gets to explore different locations, fight monsters, gather materials for alchemy, actually craft items, take on side quests, and of course, fish. Now, in case you're wondering, yes, this game has tutorials and a whole lot of them, but they do help explain a lot of the features in the game. Of course, in my personal opinion, and just based on my own experience with the series, the Atelier games aren't very difficult when it comes to figuring out the gameplay or even the alchemy system. From the game's menu, the player can freely change the difficulty level to easy, normal, or hard at pretty much any given time. I play on normal, as you can see here, and I think this is more so applying to the difficulty of the enemies when fighting. Under the menu, the player can check the items in storage, they can see the recipes that they have unlocked, look at the to-do list, the ambitions journal, change the battle equipment, change the harvest equipment, set the party's formation, look at the character stats, and last we have the encyclopedia with all the information on available monsters, items, locations, as well as the tutorials. Now, being a series that is pretty famous for its time limit feature, like in the Arland series for example, and yes, it does make it more challenging in my opinion because you do have to focus on getting the absolute best items that you can just to see the good ending. It really makes it rewarding, but I always feel like there was really never enough time to do much of anything in the game without doing multiple playthroughs. Now, with Lydie and Sue, there is no time limit. It gives the player so much more freedom to run around, explore, and get those amazing materials to craft amazing items. We also have a weather system, just like in the previous game from the mysterious arc. So enough with the boring stuff, let's go out and actually explore. The town has a few locations to check out. We can shop and even visit our friends' ateliers. By visiting the notice board in the castle plaza, the player can accept up to 5 different side quests. Once you have accepted these quests, you will notice that some of them have time limits, others don't. Some of these also require certain conditions being completed before actually turning them in, so just keep that in mind when accepting your quest. The outskirts and the painting maps will be updated as the game's story progresses, giving the player new locations to explore and to gather materials. While on the field or in a painting, the player can pick up items, fight enemies, break things by hitting them for Lydie or kicking if you play as Sue, fish, and even catch bugs. Each item gathered will have some type of quality to it, and though at first it's really difficult to find really good items, but don't worry, the more you actually progress through the game's story, it gets better and easier. But now that we have all of our materials, let's head back to the atelier and do some crafting. Alchemy is a key feature in this game, and you pretty much need to understand the basics on how to do it in order to progress the game's story. Of course, it's really not that difficult to get the hang of. When collecting items, each item will have a number representing the quality of the item as well as a letter that can range from E to S rank. You will also notice that some of these items will have traits as well as different elemental properties. These are all things to consider when combining the materials together to make an item. But don't worry, it's not rocket science. As I said before, it's really not that difficult to get the hang of. Plus, their tutorials really help out. Remember to use catalysts when you can. That's a pro tip from me, okay? So just don't forget. This will also make a huge difference in the quality of your item when synthesizing. So there you go. Alchemy doesn't only apply to progressing the story, but also allows for the player to create weapons, armors, and even upgrade weapons when they're at the blacksmith in the town. The player will also be able to make useful items for battle and while on the field, which takes me to my next topic, the battle system. When on the field or in a painting, monsters will roam the area freely. If they see you, a little exclamation point will appear above their head. If they touch you first, then they will obviously have the advantage. If you hit them first, then you will have the advantage. The party consists of 3 members on the field, with each character having a backup character to switch to, or to use like special follow-up skills during battle. The battle system is turn-based, with the order of the characters and enemies on the left-hand side of the screen. Different attack skills and items will depend on where the character will place in the next turn. A nice little feature is that every party member can use items. It is limited to what types of items each character can use, but they can still use them. Now let's take a look at the party's formation. We can access the party's formation function through the main menu. This is basically showing who will be set out as the main party members and who will be set as the backup characters. Might sound a little confusing, so I'm just going to show you. Here we have Furious, Sue, and Alt as the main party members, and in this scenario, Furious is up first. Since we've already gathered some materials before entering the fight, Lydie, who was my backup for Furious, can use the special mix skill. This feature is actually pretty cool since it gives the player an extra first move in battle. Since each character will have their own set of attack and support skills, you can test out different party setups to find out which one works the best for you. Obviously, knowing what backup to have for any of the party members is good, since the backup will perform a follow-up attack after a skill has been used or even after an item. Lastly, after every battle, the player is rewarded with experience points, coal, material, and sometimes you even get a little treasure chest. So the gameplay is pretty simple, but a whole lot of fun too. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the game's graphics and audio. The Atelier games in general always offer the cutest character designs with amazing animations, and of course it has a lot of pastel colors interpret into the artwork. I always love the way these games look, offering some really smooth anime-style game intros and still images. Yes, there's going to be clipping, but I didn't notice any major graphical errors while playing. As for the audio, this game features a really nice soundtrack and of course gives you the option to change the background music from the Atelier. Something a bit different about Lydie and Suelle is the voice acting. Normally, the American release comes with English voice acting, but here we are presented with the Japanese voices only. This is a nice touch since I don't play a lot of games with the Japanese voices. I actually kind of prefer it since the characters sound 10 times cuter, though I do miss them like saying barrel in English, but that's just me. Now let's take a look at the pros and cons based on my opinion and personal experience with the game. First, some pros would include a good story. I really enjoyed this one a lot with the character development of the twins and just the way the whole game plays out in general. The fact that you can change characters is also pretty cool. It's definitely a plus. I enjoyed the freedom of not having a time limit, so I can have the time to gather good items and do side quests. The game art is really nice. I love the character design. The pastel colors are the absolute best. The soundtrack is good. And lastly, the interactive barrels, because why not? It's a barrel. Oh, and let's not forget about the fishing feature, which is simple, but I think it's fun. As for the cons, I can't really say I found anything bad or anything I didn't like about this game. I honestly would have liked to see more anime-style cutscenes, but that's just an opinion and not really a con. Atelier Lydie Suelle, The Alchemist and the Mysterious Painting, is probably my favorite one yet. The reoccurring characters from the previous game in this particular arc are older but have the same fun personalities they did in their game. The new main characters, Lydie and Suelle, are the best. With Suelle being my most favorite. Her tough but girly attitude, I just love it. The battle system is fun, the alchemy system isn't too hard to get the hang of, and the story is really good. I would like to see more anime-style cutscenes like the intro in future games, and maybe a fishing feature that's kind of challenging, but it gives you better items the better you are at fishing. Overall, I definitely recommend this game. It is a must-have, it is a must-play, it's cute, it's fun, and ultimately it's a stress-free game. So pick up your copy and give it a go. I'd like to give a huge thanks to Koei Tecmo for providing me a copy of the game to review. This is the first time being able to take part in something like this, and I really hope to work with them in the future and review more stuff. So overall, Atelier Lydie and Suelle get an overall rating of 10 out of 10, and no, I'm not just saying that because I was given a copy of the game. I actually really mean it. I think it's a lot of fun. Like I said before, this one is probably my favorite one yet. So if you liked the video, remember to leave a like. Also, comment your opinions on the game or request for future reviews down below. I love reading what everyone has to say. If you don't already, go ahead and support me on Patreon. It's thanks to them that I'm still able to make videos. I honestly can't thank you enough. This has been a Gaming Goddess review, and remember to keep on gaming.